The luxury illusion Hermes is in trouble, and the truth is finally out.
Our artisans, they need to do 4 years of training to be able to manufacture a Kelly bag. This that you've just seen, the perlage, you need to be very skilled and very, very good.
Yo, it's getting wild out here. Hermes, the luxury fashion powerhouse known for its pricey handbags, is in full-on panic mode. Why? Because the same Chinese manufacturers that helped build their empire are now spilling all the tea. And not just little secrets, these are big.
Some of Hermès products are made in China. Towels are from Fuyue in Shandong. They also make products for Chanel and IKEA. Beddings are from Yue in Shandong. Men's shoes are from Shachi in Shandong. Tableware are from Gaochun in Jiangsu.
$1 bombshells that are shaking the fashion world to its core. This isn't about cheap knockoffs. We're talking about the actual factories that made the original Hermes bags. Yes, the same $20,000 Birkins and Tellys everyone drools over. And now, those factories are pulling back the curtain, revealing what's really going on behind those shiny Made in France labels. Spoiler alert, it's not the romantic story we've all been sold. Let's dive into the...
It was my first time shopping at Hermès, and let me tell you how it went.
We got a lot of requests, do Hermès next. And that's why we're here in the Highland Park Mall.
The lie that built the legend. For years, Hermes has marketed itself as the epitome of European luxury. Think of it, handcrafted leather bags stitched by French artisans in cozy Parisian workshops, surrounded by classical music and candlelight. Sounds magical, right? But according to insiders and backed up by receipts from a guy named Tanner Leatherstein, that image is mostly smoke and mirrors. Tanner isn't just some TikTok personality. He's a legit leather expert with a big following online. His whole thing? Buying designer bags and literally cutting them open on camera to show what they're made of. And what did he find? That up to 80% of these so-called French luxury bags are actually manufactured in China.
Made in Italy, made in China, or maybe made in Chile. Oh yeah, that should be a thing, by the way, because some brands get real creative when it comes to made in Italy.
Not just parts. The whole deal, cutting the leather, stitching the seams, adding the hardware. Once they're almost finished, Hermes ships them to France, adds a stamper button, and then slaps on the Made in France label. That tiny final step is what gives the illusion of French craftsmanship. Now, when those Chinese factories started showing the receipts, literally Hermes freaked out. The truth was out, and they couldn't contain it. Enter Tanner Leatherstein again. He's the whistleblower who's been peeling back the curtain on the luxury industry for a while now. He's called out Chanel for replacing real...
She put the finishing touches on a Kelly, the most difficult bag to build. It starts with 30 distinct cuts of leather and can take 20 hours to complete, 4 hours for just the handle. There are no manuals or cheat sheets. Artisans rely on their training and muscle memory to make every bag.
Real gold hardware with plastic-coated materials. He's criticized Louis Vuitton, Bottega Veneta, and, yes, Hermes. And what he discovered is shocking. Many of these luxury bags aren't worth nearly what they cost. Take the iconic Birkin, for example. These bags can go for $14,000, $20,000, even upwards of $38,000. But according to Tanner, the actual cost to make one, including high-quality leather and decent metal hardware, is around $600. That's right, not thousand.
So Hermès has put out a response to China, and they have like a video in a factory sort of showing people trying to show that they're actually the ones who are making the bags in a factory somewhere in France.
Not thousands. Just $600. Now imagine Hermes watching this content go viral. Their secret sauce has been spilled, and the illusion they spent decades building is crumbling. But what made it worse is this: the Chinese factories weren't just making knockoffs, they were making the real thing. And then they turned around and told the world how it actually works. They revealed that most of the production takes place in China, with only the finishing touches handled in France. Meanwhile, Hermes keeps selling the fantasy of
I have spent over $100,000 of my own money dissecting luxury bags, cutting them open, analyzing every stitch, every layer. Why? Because I had to know what made those bags so
selling the
expensive.
fantasy of full French craftsmanship while hiding the truth about their labor practices and production pipeline. So what did Hermes do? Did they come clean and admit it? Of course not. They did what big companies usually do when they're exposed. They started filing lawsuits. Hermes is now suing several Chinese manufacturers, accusing them of misusing intellectual property and spreading lies that hurt the brand's image. In other words, how dare you tell the world our bags aren't truly...
They take almost finished bags from China factories back to their own factories and just do the repackaging and logo installing.
Our bags
like that.
aren't truly French. But here's the twist. These factories weren't rogue operators. They had official contracts. They were legally producing bags for Hermes and other luxury labels. But now that they're telling the truth, Hermes is acting like they've never even heard of them. Classic. Let's break down the math real quick. In 2024, Hermes made $15.2 billion in revenue. That's a massive number. With such high
Who is the Chinese supplier behind product? Bags are from Siton Handbag in Dongguan City, Guangdong Province. It's a factory specializing in handbags for 54 years, and it produces 80% of the world luxury bags.
With such high volume, and considering that a single Birkin takes up to 2 days to make by hand, who exactly is producing all of these bags in France? The numbers just don't add up. The sad truth is that Hermes isn't alone in this. Brands like Chanel, Prada, and Louis Vuitton are reportedly doing the same thing. Most of the production happens in places like China, Vietnam, or Bangladesh. But a tiny part of the process, maybe a zipper or a button, is done in Italy or France. That's enough for them to legally claim it's made in Italy or made in France. It's a marketing loophole, a trick. And customers have been falling for it for years. But now, as more people learn the truth, the resale market is starting to shift. Prices are dipping and trust is fading. People are realizing they paid $25,000 for a bag made in the same facility as a $400 lookalike. Tanner has even shown bags labeled as premium calfskin that turned out to be made from low-quality, plastic-coated leather. This is making collectors nervous and buyers angry. Because if these brands aren't actually delivering quality or craftsmanship, what are people really paying for?
He started making his boots in China, and that is these boots right here. This is pretty much the UGG boot that like most Americans will have in their house. I was very pissed off when I found out the truth because I grew up in Southern California. I remember being in elementary school when I would only see 2 people in the entire school wearing UGG boots, and they were always the cool
The illusion of luxury. One of the biggest myths Western luxury brands have sold us is that Chinese manufacturing equals poor quality. That's outdated and misleading. Today, Chinese factories are capable of producing...
Most of those bags I cut open, just expensive, nothing special. But a few truly exceptional.
Capable of producing world-class leather goods. They have the talent, the tools, and the technology. In fact, many of these factories produce both the high-end designer bags and the cheaper alternatives. The only real difference? The tag that gets stitched on at the end. There are countless stories of people...
Nothing is as humbling as your daughter drawing on your $60,000 Birkin, am I right?
Yeah. I couldn't even be mad at her because when I asked her, I was like, I wanted to see if she was going to tell me the truth. I was like, Coach, did you draw on mommy's purse?
Literally spent $60,000 on this purse. Look what my daughter did to my purse.
People buying factory extras bags made in the same place as luxury items, but without the branding for a fraction of the price. One creator even said she bought UGG boots from the same factory as the originals. They were identical. The only difference? No logo. And they cost her just $5. Western media has trained us to believe that...
This is pretty much where I keep all my purses. This one here is really special. If my house is on fire, I would take this one out of all of them.
Anything made in China is low quality, while anything European is superior. But when you really dig into it, it's all just marketing. These luxury companies are often owned by big investment firms that care more about profits than craftsmanship.
Unbox my latest Hermès bag with me. This is my first bag I got this year. I usually only get one bag a year, and this is the one for this year. And I'm really excited about it.
They mark up the prices and rely on our ignorance to keep selling the dream. And guess what? That dream is powered by celebrities. Think about all the influencers and A-list stars flashing Hermès bags on Instagram. Do you really think they're buying them with their own money? Most of the time, they're gifted those bags or paid to wear them. It's strategic. Brands give someone like Cardi B a $60,000 Birkin. She posts about it.
You know, you walk into Hermès and say, hey, I want to buy one of these. You know what they say to you? No, we don't have them. First of all, you have to be Hermès customers. You have to demonstrate that you like the brand. And then you can only buy one.
And suddenly everyone wants one. That's how hype is created. But even when celebs like Kylie Jenner post a photo showing off their massive handbag collections, how many of those bags?
I've been speaking to this client here regarding selling her Birkin 30 Gris Etane, if I'm not wrong. Gris Etane is the color, and it's palladium hardware. The bag is in box fresh condition, but it's SUES stamp, which means it's a 2021 piece.
Collections, how many of those bags were actually made in France? And how many were stitched together in a Shenzhen warehouse? These days, it's not just celebrities flashing expensive stuff. Influencers are deep in the game too. Just scroll through TikTok or Instagram, and you'll see tons of videos of people unboxing luxury items. Most of these products aren't even bought by the creators themselves. They're either gifts from brands or part of paid promotions. And yet,
Kendall Jenner is wearing a fake Louis Vuitton fanny pack and she didn't know it. I'm gonna give you 3 reasons why I know that this Louis Vuitton bag is fake.
These influencers are making serious money by promoting things they didn't spend a dime on. What's the message here? That having a designer bag somehow makes you important. That if you want to matter or be seen as successful, you need one of these expensive accessories. Meanwhile, the brands behind these products are raking in millions.
None of this jewelry on my arm is real. Don't love me because of no diamonds. Take all this. This bracelet right here look real as a. This shit was $23 on Amazon.
They're selling bags that cost maybe $600 to make for over $26,000 and all because you saw someone showing it off in a 15-second video on your feed. Let's talk about the Birkin bag for a second, the so-called crown jewel of handbags. Somewhere along the way, owning a Birkin became the ultimate symbol of wealth and success. But here's the catch. Hermès, the brand that makes them, doesn't just let anyone buy one. You can't just walk into the store and pick it up like it's a pair of shoes. Nope. You've got to spend thousands first on belts, scarves, and other stuff just to be considered for the chance to buy a Birkin. It's not just luxury, it's like joining a private club. And people are eager to join. They'll spend huge amounts just to get in the good graces of the brand. But is that really luxury? Or is it more like a high-end trap? Let's not forget the resale game. A few years ago, people were flipping Birkin bags like real estate buying and selling them for crazy profits. Some even treated these bags like investment pieces. But then some factory leaks and a big expose came out. It turns out the bags weren't as exclusive or carefully made as we all thought. Now, resale prices are dropping fast. If the quality isn't all that and they're made in the same places as lookalikes, why should anyone pay full price? The people who bought into the hype are getting nervous. Resellers are panicking. Investors who thought these bags were a smart place to put their money are realizing maybe that gold mine is running dry. And here's something even wilder: some celebrities and influencers wear fake versions of these bags, but still tag the real brands in their posts. Why? Because they want to stay trendy without spending thousands. Some insiders say even stylists will buy knockoffs, tag the official brand, and still get invited to major fashion events. It's all about the illusion. The fashion world doesn't seem to care whether it's real. It only cares about how it looks. This is where things start to feel really shady. The whole system rewards appearances, not authenticity. So when you see a celeb flaunting a fancy bag, don't assume it's real or that they even care if it is. The bag itself isn't what's valuable, it's the branding, the image, the fantasy it sells. So who's really winning here? The brands, obviously. They're still making tons of money. The celebrities? They're collecting paychecks and staying relevant. Influencers? They're getting free products and event invites. And who's losing? You, the regular person.